One of the hardest parts of helping aging parents isn't always the parents. Sometimes it's your siblings. Different opinions, different levels of involvement, different ideas about what should happen next. And if you're the one doing most of the caregiving, it can start to feel incredibly lonely. Today, I want to talk about why this happens and how to navigate sibling dynamics in a way that protects both your parents and your relationships. Hi, I'm Stacy, and welcome to the Aging Parent Guide. I work in healthcare, and I've also spent many years helping my own family navigate aging, illness, and major life transitions. And one topic that comes up again and again for caregivers is how to manage family dynamics when parents start needing more support. In my own family, I'm the primary person helping my parents with their healthcare needs. I have one sibling, my brother, who's 3 years younger than I am. I'm usually the one who goes to the important doctor appointments. I'm there for surgeries. I help them run errands and pick up groceries when they're recovering from procedures. And I'm often the one coordinating a lot of the medical side of things. My brother does help sometimes, but he works in the restaurant industry, which means his schedule is much less flexible than mine. And if I'm being honest, caregiving just isn't naturally his personality the way it is for me. He has gotten more involved as we've gotten older, but I still carry most of the responsibility when it comes to my parents' health. And if you're in a similar position, please know this is extremely common. In most families, caregiving doesn't get divided evenly. Often one sibling naturally becomes the coordinator, the organizer, the person who steps in first. That imbalance can create a lot of complicated feelings. One reason sibling conflict happens is that each person experiences the situation differently. Some siblings live closer. Some have more flexible jobs. Some naturally take on caregiving roles. And some simply don't see the day-to-day changes that the primary caregiver sees. If you're the one going to appointments, helping after surgeries, or noticing small changes over time, your understanding of the situation may be very different from someone who sees your parents occasionally. Another thing that often happens is that childhood family roles quietly come back into play. The responsible sibling becomes the organizer again. The more independent sibling stays more distant. The peacekeeper tries to avoid conflict. These roles often formed decades ago, and they can reappear without anyone realizing it. This doesn't mean anyone is a bad person. It just means families carry patterns. When stress increases, it's easy for conversations with siblings to become tense. A few common patterns tend to make things worse. The first is starting conversations from a place of frustration. If you've been carrying a lot of responsibility, it's natural to feel overwhelmed. But if the conversation begins with blame, it often triggers defensiveness. Another common mistake is assuming everyone else has the same understanding of the situation. They may not have seen what you've seen. One helpful shift is to focus the conversation on shared goals instead of individual responsibilities. Instead of starting with, "You need to help more," you might start with, "I'm noticing mom and dad are needing more support, and I think we should talk about how we want to handle that as a family." That framing invites collaboration instead of conflict. A few practical things that can help sibling conversations go more smoothly include share information. Sometimes siblings simply don't have the same context. Second, divide responsibilities based on strengths, not equality. One person may handle medical appointments, Another may help with finances or home projects. Third, accept that involvement may look different for different people. Caregiving doesn't have to be perfectly balanced to be meaningful. In my own family, I've had to recognize that my brother and I contribute in different ways. He may not be the one coordinating medical care most of the time, but he still cares deeply about our parents. And finding ways to appreciate each other's contributions, even when they look different, helps reduce resentment. If you're the primary caregiver in your family, it's completely normal to feel overwhelmed sometimes. You're carrying a lot, and navigating family dynamics on top of caregiving responsibilities can make that load even heavier. But these conversations, when approached thoughtfully, can create more understanding and support over time. In the next video, we're going to talk about signs it might be time for assisted living. If this video resonated with your experience, please subscribe to the Aging Parent Guide. And if you're comfortable sharing, I'd love to hear in the comments how caregiving responsibilities are divided in your family. I'll see you in the next video.